All right. Welcome. So, haven't been to the gym in a really long time. There was a time when I was working out sometimes 4 or 5 days a week. I was lifting heavy, I was walking those 10,000 steps, the whole thing. And then life happened. For me, it was severe anemia and it wiped out my energy and it just it makes the smallest things feel exhausting. So, if you have ever gone through, or if you are going through a season like this, where your body feels like it just can't do the things it used to do, I really do know how discouraging that can be. However, what I've learned is that you don't need the gym to fix your metabolism. And you don't need to go back to that old version of you to start feeling like yourself again. You just need a plan that fits where you are for right now. If you've been following the series that I've been doing on Metabolic Mastery, you already know that we started by talking about our whys. We talked about finding the right nutrition, getting in the right amount of protein and how that will help curb your hunger tremendously. We talked about in the last video your sleep, and these are all the foundation of building your metabolic health. So, if you have picked up my guide and journal, Metabolic Mastery, there is a space in it to track all of these things. You can track your progress, your routines, your wins. So, in this season that we're in, we are going to talk about what actually happens to your body when you stop moving, why your energy, why your mood, and even your motivation to work out or exercise or move your body seem to disappear, and how you can rebuild that from zero if you're starting from zero, step by step. And I want you to know that I am starting from zero. I'm starting from zero too. So if you are here feeling out of shape, you're feeling tired, you're feeling disconnected from your body, and just feeling like blah, this is where you need to be. You're in the right place. And we're going to do this together. So I have my tea. We have some kind of blueberry tea here today. This is the Rishi brand. And we're going to get into this. So, as usual, I have some slides that I'm going to share. So, let's go. All right. So, you don't need the gym to fix your metabolism. So, you know how it goes, right? We talked about this. You get busy, life gets busy, your work is piling up, you've got kids to deal with, and then you're dealing with a shift in your hormones. If you're like me, I'm in my mid to later end of the 40s. And things are starting to shift. And things happen that you may not plan for. You don't realize these things are going to happen. And for me, it was severe anemia. And one day you realize that you're just not moving your body the way you used to. The exercises stop, your weights might be collecting some dust, and you're just feeling like tired and just not motivated, and you just don't want to do it. And the worst part isn't the missed workouts, it's just how you feel like you are just not yourself anymore. And you keep saying to yourself, I'll get back to it. Don't worry, I'm going to do this. I can get back to this. But then weeks turned into months, right? Maybe years. And I don't think it's laziness, it's that your energy has changed. And It's time that you kind of listen to the signals your body is giving you. Um, and if you are feeling in this place right now, I think that guilt is not the place where you need to be. It's understanding what's happening, why it's happening. This is a phase, this is a shift in where you are, and finding a way back to what actually fits who you are today. Because we're not the same people we were 10 years ago, right? Even 5 years ago, things change. You have to adapt and recognize that it's not about being what you were before, it's about doing what works for you now. So, what happens when we stop moving? So, when we stop moving, we don't just lose strength, our whole system starts to slow down. Your muscles are, little engines in your body, and they help manage your blood sugar all day long. Even when you're not working out, your muscles are working. And so when you are sitting, if you have a kind of job where you're sitting all day, your engines kind of slow down, they quiet down. Um, and your muscles aren't able to pull in as much glucose from your bloodstream. So your blood sugar might start to rise, your insulin starts to go up as well. And your fat burning is going to decrease. And then it's not just a metabolic issue, it's a mental issue, because when you move, your brain is releasing those feel good chemicals, right? The dopamine, the serotonin, those endorphins. Those are the ones that keep you feeling motivated. But when you stop moving, that chemistry kind of flattens out, and you don't feel that same spark or that same drive that you had, and everything begins feeling like it's work. So it's kind of like a cruel thing, right? The very thing that would help you feel motivated, movement, is the thing that you can't get yourself to do because you've stopped doing it. So that's what happens when those brain chemicals go quiet. But the moment that you take those steps again, you start producing those chemicals again, and that is going to bring that motivation back. So here's the cool part. Once you start understanding what's happening in your brain, you can use that to your advantage, and you don't have to wait to feel motivated before you start moving again. So you should realize that motivation isn't what gets you moving. Movement is what creates that motivation. I'll say that again. So it's not the motivation that gets you moving. It's the movement that creates the motivation. So the minute that you start doing something, you take a walk around your block, you spend some time on a trampoline. Trampoline is my favorite movement tool right now. Even stretching while you're cooking your dinner, your body will start to release those chemicals again. You'll get a little dopamine hit. You'll feel the stability from that serotonin being produced, and you'll feel those endorphins begin to kick in. And suddenly you'll feel better. You'll have more energy, and you'll think, you know what? Maybe I could do a little bit more. Maybe I like this. I want to keep going at it. And that is the loop. You move, you feel better, and then you move some more, and you have to retrain your brain to crave that feeling again. So don't wait for motivation to find you. You have to go make the motivation. Okay. So we're going to make this extremely practical. Okay. So this is what my start from zero plan is looking like. It's something simple. It's something that's measurable, which is really important for me. And it's going to work. So you're breaking this down week by week, right? So you're starting from zero. Maybe you're a couch potato. Maybe you've been sitting at your desk all day, not moving. So your plan is in week one, you're just going to move for 10 minutes, like consciously. Obviously, you're going to be moving, right, throughout the day as you do your normal things. but you're going to intentionally move for 10 minutes. For me, the easiest thing, it takes me about 10 minutes to walk around my block. So a 10-minute walk around the block is like my targeted movement for the day. It could be, right? But you could walk, you could bounce. Again, I like my trampoline, bouncing on the trampoline. You could stretch, just do whatever feels doable. If you have a smartwatch or if you walk around with your phone, you should check your average steps for this past week. So go back and look at your average steps, see what that is. And then you're going to try to add, and I shouldn't say the word try, we're going to add 1,000 steps a day. So 1,000 steps is about 10 minutes of walking at like a moderate pace, right? So if you want to add 1,000 steps, you're going to walk for 10 minutes. So if you've been averaging, if you look at your tracker and you find out, wow, I've only been moving about 2,000 steps each day. So then for this week coming, we're going to aim for 3,000 steps. That's our goal. We're just adding 1,000, right? Now, if you don't have a tracker, that's fine. You're just going to add 10 minutes of movement each day. The point is to make some progress. We're not looking for any kind of perfection. You don't have to go out and purchase anything. You're just going to start. In week 2, you're going to add another 1,000 steps. Okay, so if you were doing your 10 minutes, you're going to add another 10 minutes. And it doesn't have to be back to back. You could wake up, say, you know what, I'm going to go on a 10-minute walk. And then after dinner, you go on a 10-minute walk. That's easy to do, right? A walk around the block, depending on how big your block is. So that's it. In week 2, as you're adding in an extra 1,000 steps or an extra 10 minutes of movement, you're going to add in a little bit of strength. So you can bring in some resistance. I have a weighted vest, so you could wear like a weighted vest, or you can grab some light dumbbells and just walk with them if you have that, or you can fill up a backpack with, things you have around the house and make it a heavier backpack and throw that on and go for a walk. Again, you do not have to purchase anything. You can use what you have to add some resistance. So you're going to do that in a 10-minute session. Okay. If you don't want to walk with weight, you could just do 10 minutes of strength training. You could do some squats. You could do some curls. You could do kettlebell swings. If you need some inspiration, there is a website that I love. It is absolutely free, and it's called dareby.com. They have tons of different workouts on there that you can try. There's short workouts. Some you can do without equipment. Some you can do with equipment. Let me see if I can share right now. I'm really bad at doing this, but let me give it a try. So let me see. I think I got it. Okay. So this is Dareby, and you see they have like a workout of the day. So the workout today is a burrito mode, and you're like holding these poses for 30 seconds before you move on to the next one. And every day there's a new workout. Here you have a November challenge, a push-up streak. You have an exercise of the day. There are tons of new workouts and sets that you can try. I highly recommend you check it out. It is a free website, so you don't have the excuse of I don't know what to do. Just pick something and do it. Okay. So let me see if I can get back to. Oh wait, I wasn't sharing. Told you I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm going to share it one more time because I wasn't sharing. My bad. Okay, here I was showing you burrito mode. So this is the workout of the day, exercise of the day. They have programs completely free. Sorry, I wasn't sharing, but now I am. So I'll figure it out at some point. So let's go back and I'll go back to the slides. All right. Okay. I think I'm sharing again, hopefully. All right, here we go. All right, so we were talking about, in week 2, adding in some strength. And in week 3, actually, before we do that, I want to just kind of talk a little bit here about the next section. So in week 3, we're going to talk about adding in NEAT. And this is why I say you don't need the gym to fix your metabolism. Because your body actually cares more about how much you move throughout a day than how hard you work out for an hour or two. So the idea of, oh, I'm just gonna, spend an hour in the gym twice a week, 3 times a week, is not as helpful to your body. It's not as powerful in improving your metabolism as moving throughout the day. So there is research that shows that small, consistent movements, things that we do like walking, standing, light activity, have a bigger impact on your blood sugar, your insulin levels, your energy, than just going to the gym a couple times a week and working out for, 45 minutes to an hour. So one review on what is called NEAT. And NEAT stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So one review found that most of your daily calorie burn actually comes from the little movements that you do outside of the workouts. There was another study that showed that people who simply walked more steps each day had better metabolic markers and a lower risk for weight gain. So that's why you want to focus on daily movement and think about it in terms of what fits your real life and not like, I got to get to the gym for an hour. So in week 3, we're going to layer in more NEAT. So I want you to think about what you can do to move more throughout your day. If it is taking the stairs, right? I always say ATTS, always take the stairs. I don't know, I heard it somewhere before. And that is like my motto, whenever the stairs are there, the elevator is there, ATTS, always take the stairs, right? If you create that kind of mind shift, if you have the ability to stand while you're working, so if you have a standing desk, stand up when you can. If you're going to talk on the phone to someone, walk around, pace while you're talking. Tackle those cleaning tasks, those organization tasks that you've been putting off, because now it's not just about organizing your home, organizing your space. You're also helping your body to get in that extra activity. Taking a nice stretch before you get into bed. All of these different things that we do are going to count. And your goal is to be at around 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day for most days, right? And this is not from long workouts. This is not like you're going to go on a 2-hour walk, because when you say I have to go on a 2-hour walk, you're not going to consistently do that, right? It's too long of a period of time. But if you are constantly in motion, constantly doing things, staying active, that's what's going to help. And you're going to notice you'll have more energy. Your blood sugar is going to be more stable and you will sleep better because your body loves movement. All right, so I wanted to just show you what this looks like for me in real life, because like I said, I'm not going to the gym and I haven't been going to the gym, but I have a little setup at home that for me is fun and it's easy. I have a mini trampoline. I have a Becan one that you see here. And I don't necessarily use it for like a workout. Like I don't get on it and I'm like, okay, it's time for my workout. I just have it in my office and I jump on it and I bounce for a few minutes, right? I'll put on one song and I'll say, okay, I'm just going to bounce for this song. And it does so much for my mood. And you can imagine during the time you're listening to a good song, you're moving your body, you're releasing that dopamine, you're releasing the serotonin, those endorphins are going, and those are going to make you feel happy and calm and motivated. So it's not about the workout. Really, it's about creating like some feel good chemistry that's going to reset your energy. It's going to change your mindset. So what I also have is a weighted vest. And I use it on short walks, or sometimes I just put it on in the house and have it on as I'm doing chores, washing dishes, whatever. It adds some resistance, some gentle resistance, and you can turn everyday tasks into a bit of a workout. And you don't have to set aside time to do it, right? So you're like, I don't have time to work out. Put on that weighted vest, fill up a backpack and just put it on. And now you're working out while you are mopping the floor or folding your laundry or whatever it is. I also have a set of dumbbells and a set of kettlebells. And some days I will do a 10-minute circuit. I'll maybe go on the Dare site or put on a YouTube video and do, squats and all the different things that you can do with, dumbbells and kettlebells. Sometimes I'll just pick them up in between. Like I'll have some breaks and I'll just pick up the dumbbells, pick up the kettlebells and just, do some curls or whatever with them in between. Okay, so the goal is just to be consistent and use these tools, use what you have to stay in motion and make it a part of your day. So it's time for our weekly challenge. So I hope you've been joining me for the weekly challenges. If you haven't, go back, watch the previous videos and see what you can do to improve your health, little steps at a time. So the challenge for this week, you're going to keep it simple. You're going to move for at least 10 minutes a day. That's it. 1,000 more steps. Take one short walk, play one or two songs and jump on the trampoline if you have one. Do a stretch session before you go to bed. Pick a time that fits into your real life, right? Maybe you're walking while you're on a call. Just figure out something that works. You're cooking, you're waiting for your meat to brown on the stove. Do a little dance, put on a song, move your body, right? As you do this, though, I want you to track how you feel. You're not tracking how you look, right? This is not about how many calories you're burning. It's about how your energy and your mood shifts. And I hope you're getting that from this message is we're shifting our mood, we're shifting our energy so that we can make lasting changes. If you don't have Metabolic Mastery, I suggest you check it out. There is space in there for you to log your movements, track your mood, track your sleep. All of those things are going to build the momentum. It's going to make you feel like you are winning because you will be winning. And it's not about being perfect here. It's about creating some kind of rhythm that you can count on, your body can count on. You're going to fire up your metabolism, you're going to lift your mood, and it's going to make you want to keep going. Okay? So I want to leave you with this. Your body remembers, even if you have fallen off, it's been months, it's been years. The moment you start moving, your body knows what to do. You don't need a gym. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start. And it starts with 10 minutes. You can add a little bit more tomorrow and build that consistency over time. When you are moving, you are not just working out your muscles, you are waking up your energy, your metabolism, your motivation, your confidence. So have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Take care.